On the distant world of Aurealis, a planet of iridescent skies and floating crystal cities, the great Queen Vila ruled with wisdom and a cautious hand. Her reign had long been marked by prosperity, yet a shadow lingered over her heart. Many years ago, her youngest daughter, Lyra, had vanished during a diplomatic mission to a remote sector of the galaxy. Despite relentless searches and the pleas of her people, Lyra remained missing, leaving the queen with a void that no ceremony, policy, or festivity could fill. The court whispered of the daughter's possible fate, imagining a life among unknown alien civilizations, or worse, lost forever to the dark expanses of space. The court and citizens grew accustomed to life without the princess. Yet Queen Vela never ceased her watchful eyes on the horizon. Every star seemed to beckon with a glimmer of hope, and every distant signal was scrutinized for signs of her child. Aurealis had flourished under her guidance, but her heart ached, a personal sorrow hidden behind the grand tapestry of diplomacy and governance. Decades passed. The political landscape had shifted. Former rivals were now allies, and old enemies lingered in cautious truces. Queen Vila's advisors urged her to consider the continuity of her dynasty, but she remained steadfast. Her thoughts were consumed by a single hope, the return of her daughter. That hope became reality one luminous morning when a vessel, unlike any Aurealisian craft, descended from the skies with the elegant precision of human engineering. The queen watched with anticipation from the grand balcony of the palace. Gasps echoed across the courtyard as the ship's hull shimmered in the sunlight, reflecting a spectrum of colors that mirrored the city's floating crystals. Then, through the observation lens, a familiar figure appeared, tall, graceful, and unmistakably Lyra. But she was not alone. Hand in hand with her were two small humans, their eyes wide with curiosity and wonder as they gazed upon the alien city. Lyra's expression was serene, yet radiant with the unspoken stories of her journey, of survival, of alliances, and perhaps of trials beyond comprehension. As the royal guards lowered the drawbridge, the citizens of Aurealis lined the streets, their cheers rising like waves. The queen descended to meet them, her robes flowing like liquid light over the crystal steps. When Lyra and the human children approached, a hush fell over the crowd. Lyra knelt, allowing the children to step forward, and then stood again to embrace her mother. For the first time in decades, the queen's eyes glistened with tears that reflected the dawn light. She noticed the humans, sensing immediately their importance, their bond to her daughter, and the subtle aura of courage that surrounded them. The children, small yet surprisingly composed, held on to Lyra with a gentle strength. One had a bright curiosity in their gaze, the other a thoughtful intensity, as if both had seen wonders and dangers far beyond the reaches of ordinary childhood. Lyra's voice, calm yet commanding, addressed the assembly. She explained that years of exile had been filled with learning, exploration, and survival in the human world. She had navigated star systems, negotiated with alien factions, and protected these children, who were more than mere companions. They were her family. Together, they had faced cosmic storms, marauding fleets, and the silent, treacherous void, relying on intellect, unity, and courage to endure. Queen Vila's advisors were astonished. The humans' presence was unprecedented, their technology and resilience a marvel. Whispers filled the court, speculating on the alliance this unexpected union could bring. Yet the queen's focus was singular. She saw the unbreakable bond of her daughter with these humans, and within it a reflection of strength, wisdom, and loyalty that had guided Lyra back to her. In that moment, political considerations became secondary. The reunion itself was an embodiment of the very essence of hope, resilience, and unity between worlds. In the following days, the palace became a hub of curiosity and activity. Lyra recounted her experiences in vivid detail encounters with star-faring merchants, who traded in light and memory. Confrontations with rogue factions who sought to harness the power of unstable suns. And the countless human settlements where innovation thrived despite the harshness of space. She spoke of the human children's contributions. One had deciphered a crucial navigation matrix that prevented disaster in a collapsing asteroid field, while the other had discovered a hidden intelligence network that alerted them to dangers before they materialized. Their courage, ingenuity, and loyalty were undeniable, leaving Queen Vela in awe. The Queen also learned of Lyra's transformation during her years away. The princess had not merely survived. She had grown into a leader of unparalleled foresight, blending Aurelian wisdom with the pragmatism and determination of humans. Her perspective on governance, strategy, and diplomacy had expanded far beyond what could have been imagined in the sheltered halls of the palace. She shared her visions for the future alliances between Aurealis and human civilizations, technological advancements informed by cross-species collaboration, and cultural exchanges that would enrich both worlds. The human children, meanwhile, adapted with remarkable ease to life in the palace. They explored its halls with keen fascination, often finding hidden passages and secret chambers that even long-serving guards had never known. Lyra encouraged them to learn about Aurelian history and traditions, and they, in turn, shared stories of human worlds, of cities that floated on clouds of dust and oceans of liquid crystal, of children who built machines that could bend gravity itself. Their presence became a symbol of unity, a bridge between two civilizations that had long existed apart, unaware of the possibilities their cooperation could yield. Tensions that had simmered for generations began to ease. Neighboring empires, once wary of Aurealis' strategic position, now considered the implications of Lyra's return and the humans' involvement. Rumors spread of the Queen's daughter, who returned not alone, but with allies from a distant star system, children whose ingenuity and bravery had earned her protection and respect. Diplomats approached the palace with cautious optimism, eager to engage in dialogue that promised mutual benefit. One evening, as the twin suns of Aurealis dipped below the horizon, Queen Vela stood on the palace balcony with Lyra and the children beside her. The sky burned with colors that neither human nor Aurelian art could capture fully. Yet in that radiant twilight, a deeper truth was evident. Generations of fear, isolation, and uncertainty were giving way to collaboration, understanding, and hope. Lyra's journey, filled with peril and perseverance, had returned her not only to her family, but to a world ready to embrace the strength and wisdom she had gained. In private moments, Lyra spoke to her mother about the bond she had formed with the human children, how it had been forged through trials that demanded courage, ingenuity, and trust. The Queen listened, reflecting on the unlikeliest of alliances and the enduring truth that strength could manifest in unexpected forms. She understood that her daughter had become a beacon, a bridge between species, and a living testament to the potential of unity across the stars. In time, Lyra assumed her role not merely as a princess, but as a diplomat, explorer, and leader whose influence stretched beyond Aurealis. The humans became honored guests and protectors, recognized for the courage that had preserved life, inspired loyalty, and fostered peace. Together, they laid the foundations for a new era, one where the people of Aurealis and the human civilizations could learn from each other, protect each other, and dream together of futures that were once unimaginable. Years later, the story of Lyra's return was told throughout the galaxy. Thales spoke not only of her bravery and resilience, but of the human children whose partnership had been essential to her survival and triumph. Songs, paintings, and holographic displays commemorated the day the Queen's missing daughter returned. Hand in hand with two human children, her greatest companions, her family forged in the vastness of space. In every recounting, the lesson was clear. Courage, loyalty, and unity could overcome even the most insurmountable distances, bridging worlds and hearts alike. Queen Vela often reflected on those long years of waiting. The void left by Lyra's absence had been immense, yet in the fullness of time, it revealed a truth more profound than she could have imagined. The return of her daughter, and the humans who had journeyed with her, transformed not only their family, but the destiny of Borealis. Where once there had been longing and uncertainty, there was now unity and hope, a testament to the extraordinary power of connection across the stars, and to the enduring legacy of bravery, compassion, and love. The palace, once a symbol of solitary authority, became a sanctuary of interstellar collaboration. Visitors from distant worlds marveled at the tailies, learning that heroism and loyalty were not confined to a single species. Lyra, her human companions by her side, inspired others to dream boldly, to embrace the unknown, and to recognize that even in the darkest reaches of space, light could be found in the courage of hearts united. Through the crystal halls of Borealis, laughter, learning, and adventure echoed once more. The queen, her daughter, and the two humans, her daughter's greatest allies, stood as living proof that the universe, vast and unknowable as it was, could be made brighter through unity, resilience, and the courage to return home. Their story, a testament to the enduring strength